Hello everyone! Welcome back to English class. Again, this is Teacher Adam, and it's my joy to help you learn today. How are you all doing? I understand that you may still be adjusting with our new class setup, but I sincerely hope that you are starting to get the hang of it. Anyway, for today, we are going to talk about a new lesson. But before that, I'd like to know your thoughts about this issue first.
One of the issues our country is facing today because of the pandemic is about the opening of classes. The Department of Education pushes classes to open on August 24 for public schools, while private schools may start the new school year earlier. In a sentence or two, write your position about this topic. Should opening of classes for this year resume, or should it be postponed for now? Pause this video, then write your answer.
I am excited to know what your answers are. But for now, let me express my own thoughts about the issue. Here is my one-sentence response. Opening of classes for this school year should continue despite the pandemic, since there is an alternative way to hold classes through other than the traditional face-to-face learning, and that is through distance learning. Whether your response to the question is the same with mine or not, what matters most is that 1. You are able to think critically. That is the application of our first lesson. And 2. You are now ready for our next lesson. Being able to express your stand in a sentence or two shows that you are now ready to write your own thesis statement. Here are the topics that you will learn today. First, the definition of thesis statement. Second, the two basic formats of a thesis statement. And last, things to avoid when writing a thesis statement. Let's start with our lesson.
A thesis statement is defined as the argument that needs to be proven in a written or oral discussion. When there's an issue being talked about, your stand, or the side you prefer to agree with, is what you argue for and prove to be better or true. A thesis statement includes a forecast or a brief preview of arguments. It means that you don't write all your ideas in it. Later in your paragraphs, the general idea you expressed in your thesis statement will be discussed in specific details. Usually, and preferably stated, a thesis statement is written in one sentence only, 2 sentences at the most.
You may write your thesis statement in two basic formats: cause and effect and reasoning. Let us talk about these two formats one by one.
From the term itself, cause and effect shows two things. Cause, which is something that produces an event or condition, and effect, which is the result of an event or condition. Notice V's example. A leader must commit to do his responsibilities in order for his team to be influenced with the same work ethics. In this sentence, the first half, a leader must commit to do his responsibilities, shows the cause. If this is done, the result will be his team will be influenced with the same work ethics that he has. This is the effect. Let's try another one. Continuity of learning among students, despite losing the chance to conduct face-to-face classes, is secure by holding classes through blended and distance learning. Holding classes through blended and distance learning is the action that produces the condition. Therefore, it is the cause. On the other hand, security of the continuity of learning among students is the expected result of the condition. Therefore, it is the effect. The second format is called reasoning. This format is used when the thesis statement lists down logical and sensible explanation or justification of why an idea is valid, better, or true. Notice this example. A leader must walk his talk because his followers learn through his spoken and unspoken words. The idea, a leader must walk his talk, is explained or justified by the reason his followers learn through his spoken and unspoken words. The word because signals reasoning as the format. However, we should still focus on the idea to be sure. Remember my answer in the question I asked you earlier? Opening of classes for this year should continue despite the pandemic, since there is an alternative way to hold classes other than the traditional face-to-face learning, and that is through distance or online learning. This is also in reasoning format. Opening of classes despite the pandemic is suggested to continue for the reason that there's an alternative way to hold classes through, and that is through distance or online learning.
Check your answer and see if it uses cause and effect or reasoning format. If you think your answer can be identified in any of the two basic formats, then you did a great job. But if you think that your answer cannot be classified in either of the two, then you might have done something that you should avoid when writing a thesis statement. Don't you worry, because our next topic is just about that.
Here are things to avoid in writing a thesis statement. First, it is not in phrase form. You have to write your thesis statement in a complete sentence, which means it needs to have a subject and an action or predicate. Second, it is not in title or question form. It must be a declarative sentence. And third, it is not a paragraph. Like what I told you about earlier, your thesis statement must be limited in a sentence or two only. Save your other details for the supporting paragraph.
So what's a good thesis statement like? A good thesis statement makes a good argument.
The purpose of the thesis statement is to state your viewpoint about your topic. Remember, you are trying to persuade your readers that your viewpoint is valid. Also, when writing an essay, make sure that your thesis statement is found in the introduction paragraph.
What can you say about this thesis statement? I believe that we must stop wasting food now.
Obviously, this thesis statement lacks details that will present and support a good argument. Well, we can say that this expresses a position or stand which is against wasting food. However, this thesis statement didn't even give reasons why we should be against wasting food. Also, the expression, I believe, makes it sound too personal or opinionated. This is something that we should also avoid. In conclusion, this thesis statement is a bad example.
Now allow me to give you an example of a good thesis statement. The problem of food waste can be easily solved by implementing 3 simple steps: reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Totally different from the other example, this thesis statement expresses a complete idea. It identifies the issue and gives a possible solution to it. It gives the cause, implementing 3 steps: reduce, reuse, and recycle, which results to solving the problem of food waste. Now, this is a good example of a thesis statement.
It's time for you to practice recognizing a thesis statement. Read the paragraph with me and find which sentence is considered its thesis statement.
The biggest thing I dislike about the presidential elections is my inability to take part in the process of electing the president. I am captive to television and radio ads that interrupt my regularly scheduled programming to sell me on a candidate, and I am forced to search for the actual news, which for days on end is mostly filled with details about the campaigns and not much else. I listen to ads and I read the news, yet I am powerless to act because I am only 16. However, 4 years from now, I will be 20. I will be in college or the workforce, and what goes on after the president is elected will have a direct effect on my life. By the time I'm 18, it will be too late to speak up for the things that will matter to me then: money for college, affordable health insurance, and the availability of jobs. In our country, 16-year-olds should be allowed to vote because many important issues, such as money for college, will have a significant impact on them.
Have you found the thesis statement? The thesis statement in the paragraph is... drumroll.
The thesis statement in the paragraph is
The last sentence. In our country, 16-year-olds should be allowed to vote because many important issues, such as money for college, will have a significant impact on them. This thesis statement is in reasoning format. It explains and justifies why 16-year-olds should be allowed to participate in national elections and vote. Let us have a seat work exercise. Read the following topics and choose which of the 2 thesis statements is considered the correct one. Make sure to write your answers on your notebook as I will be checking them soon.
Before we end this discussion, allow me to share with you a Bible verse related to our lesson. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Now that there are countless issues that our country is facing, it is okay to express your thoughts about them. It is okay to make a stand on what you believe in. It is okay to get into healthy arguments. Just make sure that whatever position or stand you take, whatever belief you live by, and whatever action to do as a result of your thoughts, you must pursue what glorifies the name of the Lord.
That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. If there are parts of the discussion that are unclear to you, you have a choice to watch this video again. Or you may take note of your questions, then schedule a consultation date with me. Before I say goodbye, I'd like to acknowledge and thank the following sources that made this learning material possible. It's a wrap. Once again, thank you. God bless. Stay safe till I see you again. This is Teacher Adam, signing off. Bye.